Now, you work with so many different artists. Most of the artists outside of Gangsta are real lyricists. You got Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, rest in peace. How did you pick artists, or were they just coming at you and you be like, okay? Because what I want to ask you is, you also work with groups like Group Home, where compared to MCs like Nas or Jay-Z, they ain't that lyrical.
Right.
But you still work with them. What was the main, the reason why you was working with them?
Well, the difference between Group Home is they were down with my crew. They was part of Gangstar Foundation, so that was just a family album. That wasn't like... that's like if I have a little brother that wants to make a record and I put it out.
Right.
They know that he's hooked up because he's affiliated with me, being my brother. That was good. Guru introduced me to J. Rue the Damager and Lil Dap. I met Malachi the Nutcracker when I lived in the Bronx. Okay. I had moved from Brooklyn to the Bronx and back to Brooklyn, and then I moved to Queens. So I've lived in every borough of New York. So, but I met them through Guru. I met Suge through Guru after he came out of jail, and pretty much, I was always with. We were always around each other. So one day Dap just started rhyming in the kitchen when everybody's doing a freestyle. I was like, damn, man, you got a cool little flow. Okay. But we knew it wasn't excellent. But Guru was like, I want to put an album out with them because we had a Gangstar Productions deal. So we had to put out 6 artists. Okay. So he was like, yeah, I'll put out 3 and you put out 3. Okay. His 3 were Big Suge, Group Home, and J. Rue the Damager. Okay. I was like, well, let me do the music because I can make them sound good. Right. So that's pretty much what we did. Okay. J. Rue out of everybody was the most lyrical, you know what I'm saying? Right. And he did well, so through all of that, that's the difference. That was a family album. The records outside of that were artists that I appreciated their style and their rhyme flow and their ability to spit. Right. And I took the gig based on that. Okay. So it's never been a money thing for you where they was like, all right, we give you this much money, but you have to make a record with this. Because when I was wondering when you did the song with Limp Bizkit. Me personally, I was like, that one was more. That was more the money. Yeah. Okay. But my integrity still had to be there. And Method Man was part of that. So he was in there. The fact that Method was on it, and I heard his verse because they had a demo version that they had done. Okay. And when I heard the demo version, I was like, but I told Fred Durst, I was like, yo, man, you're whack. Like I told him, like, you told him that. Okay. Yeah. I was like, I re-recorded him with me, and that was the best that I could get out of him. Okay. And not only that, I had already told him I didn't want to do the job. Right. I turned it down. I fought with my manager. He was like, yo, this is going to be a big record. It's going to be, you're going to be really recognized for this. Right. And I was still like, no. Then he was like, well, can Fred come meet you? I was like, yeah, he can come by and meet me. Okay. And this is what really made me do the record with Fred, is because he was like, yo, man, I know you don't like what I do and you don't want to do the record with me. He said, man, I have your Tape Kings mixtapes. And I was like, you know about my Tape Kings mixtapes? Okay. Because I didn't expect him to know. Right. He's like, yeah, we play him on the bus all the time. That G-Dep record, Head Over Wheels. I was like, you know about G-Dep? This is when G-Dep was not, way before Bad Boy. Right. And he did a record called Head Over Wheels. It was dope. And when he started talking about that and Finster and Bundy, I'm like, okay. I'll do the record because he knew underground hip hop. Okay, so you just figured out he's a fan. He's a big fan. You ain't gonna know about Finster and Bundy unless you're really underground. I heard about it. I couldn't even say a name. They were down with they were down with the Beat Miners, Black Moon. Okay. So because of all that, that's what made me say, all right, your knowledge is beyond what I thought. I'll do the record. Okay. Was there any other records during your career which you regret doing or had a chance to do, but then you said like, nah, this is not a good look? Or I don't regret anything. Everything I do was meant to be. Okay, so everything you done, it was 100% Premiere. Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. Now, what is the most important Gangstar album to you? Moment of Truth. Moment of Truth? Yeah, why is that? Me and Guru was going through a lot at that time, personally. He was going through a major trial which could have sent him to jail for 5 years. Wow. I wanted out of the group. We were really fighting too much, and I was just like, I'm done. So I left the group. Okay. Then just moved on and just said I'm going to go into another part of my life. And then, you know, if it wasn't for my man Gordon again, biggest Gord, he convinced me to give it another shot. You know, and I was still, even though I was out of the group, I was still going to Guru's trial every day and seeing what he was going through. And not only that, the lawyers told us that, like, if he goes to jail for 5 years, you're gonna need to have the album done so that you could at least promote it while he's in jail.
Wow.
So
there was a deal at a record deal.
That's the reason why we had the courtroom cover, and even when you open, you see Guru in the court like this, thinking like we were really going through all of that. And that's why the song "Moment of Truth," everything he wrote, he was really every song was just really that personal. You know, from Robin Hood Theory to my accountant that just passed away. I even have a tattoo of her on my arm.
Wow.
She had just passed away, so that record, Next Time, I made that record the day she died. And, you know, I was just really sad and in a bad mood, and that was just the way that sample just for some reason reminded me of her. Made a beat, and Guru made the record, and I was like, all right, and, you know, another record in the can. So, you know, so from all of that, every record was really JFK to LAX. That really happened.
I remember. Yes.
They got arrested for a gun in the airport. So. You know, and that was our lawyer, Owen, on the phone. Like, you know, so we've been through all that stuff. I mean, we reenacted that call, but that's really what happened.
So Moment of Truth, that's the most important, most personal record.
Yeah, for sure.
Without a doubt. Right. Okay, now take me to the production process. How do you approach a song, an idea? Is it random, or do you always like go through the same motion?
It's different every time. Like with Gangstar, Guru gives me all the titles of every song and tells me what it's about.
Before the beats?
Yeah, before the beats. And I just have that list. And then he'll even say, this one's going to be a single, that's going to be a single. Like, he already knows what he wants.
And he already got the lyrics to it? No, he just got the idea for the title.
And then I make the tracks match those titles. I look at it and go, and just start making beats that sound like the title. Other artists, like if it's Nas or somebody, they just like make me a beat. So with them, I just envision what I hear. You know, I just close my eyes and just think, what do I feel like sounds right with their voice? I'm really into voices, so the voice has to match the artist and the music. So I just really just experiment until it just sounds like, I'm like, yo, how you like how this sounds? Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, I'll add on from there. I'll just make a skeleton. Or if certain artists like Jay-Z always says, hey, I want to do a song called this. It's going to be about this. It's going to be about this, and I'm going to say it as part of the song. And like he already has it in his head. He'll even do the rhyme for me. No beat. And he goes, and I want you to change. And like when we did 1,000,001 Questions, he's like, yo, I want it to change and go into this. And then I'm going to go, motherfuckers can't rhyme no more. And then I want another beat to come on. Like he did all that. And I wrote it down. And I was like, okay. And I made exactly what it's like I tailor make the track.
That's how it sounds too.
But other artists, they're just like, yo, give me a primo beat. So I just make what I think fits them. Sometimes they're like yes, sometimes they say no. They say no, I just change it and do
How can you say no to a primo beat?
Hey, they do. I just did 3 for Ludacris, and even so far he's only taken 1.
Wow.
Yeah, but it happens. No big. Nas has turned down many tracks. You know, Rakim's turned down tracks. Jay-Z's turned down tracks. I did a record for American Gangster. Turned it down.
Wow.
It was hot too, but it's not my album. It's his album.
It is. Okay.